All right, so the first website that we are looking at today is what I call a good website. I believe this is a good website because it starts off with a hook. It catches the audience's attention with this up to 70% off. And I thought this was great because it uses the typography really well. It doesn't have too many words, it's not jumbled up, it's not overwhelming for the audience. So I thought this was a great way to appeal to the customer. As we move into the site, you can see their new in category. I thought this was a great website because they use their blank space to their advantage. So we go down, and you can see on the left they have a filter, which is also a great aspect for any fashion website. This one is especially great because it's very eye-catching. It's right there. Anyone can see it. And I thought this was great because this website is very simple. So it's very easy to find things, and you don't have to worry about it being jumbled or overcrowded. It's just right there for you. So then we go to the clothing. Again, that filter. Another great aspect of this that I kind of touched on was that I think the typography is great. I love that they use the bolded words, the bold words. I thought that was awesome. And it's really great that they bold words because it like jumps out at the customer and they're like, ooh, let's look at this. So that was awesome to see. Same with dresses. We also have the filter category again. And then they organize the different types of dresses. So that was also a great aspect of the website. Jeans, they do the same thing with jeans. And that's pretty cool. I think it's great that like they bold the different options so it's easy for the customer to find. Go to shoes. They also have the option for shoes. And same with the filter. And then they have a little sale category. I also think this is great. I know most fashion websites do have this little thing at the top where it shows the different categories, but this is just very accessible. It's very easy to see all the different categories. So I thought that was great. And lastly, they have this little hot shop, which is a very cool aspect of their website. It's a seasonal thing, but I thought it was really cool, a really cool addition to the website. But yeah, overall, I think this is a very great and well done website. Okay, so the next website we're going to talk about today is called Romwe, and I listed it as a bad or just okay website. The reason being, we're gonna delve into in just a second. I did not call it the worst website because I think they used a couple aspects to their advantage. So the first aspect that I thought that was good that they used was they had some good usage of blank space. Definitely not as good as Topshop, um, but I do think that they used some of the white space pretty well. So it's a little bit easier to find what you're looking for. Not as easy or accessible as Topshop was, however. So the first thing that disappointed me about this website, the first thing that makes it a bad or just okay website is they do use quite a few pop-ups, as you can see here. They use that, which is understandable. Pop-ups happen, but it gets a little obnoxious after a while. So yeah, the pop-ups is definitely the first aspect that makes it not a fantastic website. So the second thing, so as we get onto the second part of the web page, is you can see they do have a filter like Topshop has, but I do not enjoy that when you scroll down, the filter scrolls up so you can't see it. That definitely makes it frustrating for customers. You sometimes can't find what you're looking for, and I just feel like it's not accessible. Definitely not as accessible as Topshop was. So that's a second thing that I'm gonna dog it down for, is that filter. It's just not great. Like, it's you can access it. I'll give them that, but it's just not, definitely not as organized or as accessible as Topshop was. I also don't like that they don't have it like front and center, as Topshop had like different jean types and shirt types and dresses, and I thought that was great, whereas this site does not. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is they have many things where I'm not very sure where to look. So let's go to the sale page. As you can see over here, it's definitely a bit overcrowded. With the bestsellers thing, you're not really sure where to look. There's just a bunch of crowded and jumbled options. And I just think they do still have a bit of white space, but it's just not as clear as Topshop was. So lastly, we'll check out the new section. So again, they do have some blank white space, which is nice, but I still think it's a bit jumbled and just not totally accessible. You can see on the guides page as well that it is pretty jumbled. There is a bit of white space again, but overall I think it's just not as organized as Topshop was, and it lacks the accessibility that Topshop had. It does not have a bunch of white space, and I just feel like it's a bit jumbled. Okay, so this website is the one that I chose for the ugly or nasty or just overall worst website. It is called Fashion Nova. And as you can see, first thing that I noticed is that it is just very overwhelming. I think that they use too many animations, and it distracts from the main part that they're trying to convey, which is a 75% off sale. So if you can recall, Topshop had a 70% off sale as well, but it was not as overwhelming because it did not have these like GIFs or pictures that were constantly changing. So I just think that that was a huge red flag. So here, let's delve deeper into the website. Okay. We can see it is pretty similar to the other ones that we saw in terms of like looking at clothes. However, it is not as accessible in terms of filter. I think this is by far the worst filter because it only has featured, newest, price low to high, and price high to low. It does not have any of the features that the other two websites had. You can't really sort it from jeans or shirts or dresses or anything. So let's continue. Alright, so we are now in the jeans section, and they really just put all of the jeans together. So bootleg, straight, skinny, all of them are just together in a jumble. They're not organized. So that's another thing, is just not organized, and you're not going to find what you're looking for. Or if you do, it's going to take a lot longer than it would with the other two sites. So this is definitely why it was the worst site in my opinion. So continue. Let's see graphic tees. So for graphic tees, again, the same thing. They just have the featured and those 4 categories, but that's it. They don't have different types of shirts, whether it's tank top or a polo or a pullover, anything like that. So let's move to regular women. Here we go. We have dresses. So one thing that I noticed is their typography. I will give it to them. I think their typography it's pretty good. But I don't think that it is as great as the other ones. Also, another thing I wanted to mention is that if you click on men, it won't change. You have to click on a certain category, which might be frustrating for some people. So I think the most frustrating thing of this website is that it's not accessible, it's over animated, and it is just not organized. So it's very annoying and bothersome to figure out. Okay, the last website that I wanted to talk about was our educational website, and it is called Stitch Fix. So I really like this website, and I thought it was educational because it has a little style quiz, which I already took, so it shows me my style profile. So it helps me figure out like which clothes suit me best and which look great, and I just thought it was super awesome. So as you can see, they have like different quizzes, and that's pretty cool. Like I think that's awesome. They have all these quizzes to figure out what your taste is and what'll look great on you, and to figure out what your clothes are, what you wear. So I thought that was great. They have all these different things. So it shows how it works. So you take a style quiz, then you have a person that styles you. They find clothes that you basically picked out, and you get to try them before you buy. And if you don't like them, you can send them back. So I thought this was really cool, and I think it's educational because it's a really different way of trying fashion, and you can learn different clothes and like which ones work best for you. They have a men's page as well, and as well as that they have a kids page. I also thought that this was great because it's very well organized. They have a great use of blank space. And I thought it was cool, their color scheme. It's not too much, it is bright, but I just thought that was a great use because they, again, do have that good use of white space. And then they have a style guide, which also adds to the educational fix because they have all of these, like what not to wear. And if you have questions, you can ask an expert. So this website is all about finding what best fits you and learning about what clothes work well for your shape and just for your overall wearing experience. They also have ideas for outfits. So that's pretty cool because most websites that have, like most fashion websites do not have this aspect. They just have clothes that they're just trying to sell. And obviously this is a business as well, but they have ideas for what you're trying to wear, and they have ideas that go with each other, like for example this dress with shoes and that bag. So I think that's really cool. They also have Inside Stitch Fix, which talks to you about the different stylists, gives you a podcast, and definitely goes behind the scenes. And so I thought that was really cool. Lastly, you can ask a stylist, which we briefly talked about. But you can ask questions, upload a photo. So overall, I thought this website was great in terms of education and in terms of its website quality as well. They have a great use of white space. Their typography is awesome. I thought it was very bold, and it helps people to be able to find things in terms of accessibility. And I just thought that they didn't overuse colors or there were no pop-ups, and I thought it was just an overly accessible and organized website.